Hello, everybody, and welcome to this session, or module, I should say, for Introduction to ConvertKit. So this is just a real quick introduction if you're not sure what ConvertKit's all about, why you'd want to use it, who really uses it. This is what this is for, as well as to kind of get you familiar with some of the terms that are used. You will notice as you go through several different courses, same programs. So for instance, email marketing programs, they all have their own sets of terminology. And a lot of times it can be confusing because a campaign in one can mean something else in another. So again, this is just information. So take a moment to watch it, and then you can dive into the material to actually learn more about ConvertKit. So the topics in this one are just the basics of what ConvertKit is, what it does, who's their market, and that type of things. And then we'll look at the terminology and some definitions. And then just a quick overview of the different pieces that make up ConvertKit. So ConvertKit, if you don't know, is an email marketing program. And it's similar to an Aweber or a MailChimp or a Simplero. It's not as full-blown as Infusionsoft. And one of the major differences here with ConvertKit to, let's say, an Infusionsoft or an Ontraport or even a Simplero, which is what I use, is that it doesn't have a shopping cart. There's no e-commerce piece. It's strictly email marketing. Okay, so we'll look at forms and landing pages, sequences, broadcasts, subscribers, automation, and the overall account for ConvertKit. So grab pen and paper and let's get started. So the basics, a little bit about ConvertKit. As I mentioned, it's an email marketing platform similar to an Aweber or a MailChimp. But one of the major differences is, first of all, it's built for professional bloggers. So its target market, if you will, is professional bloggers. Now, that doesn't mean other types of markets cannot use the system, but that's who their real target is, and that's who they created this platform for, so professional bloggers. And it's also something that's called a subscriber base versus a list base. So for instance, MailChimp is very list based, which means you have to have a list to actually put your subscribers or contacts into. And a lot of times you can have duplicates of information because you can have persons on duplicate list. And depending on how the systems are set up, that can actually go against you. And what I mean by that is they can actually, if you have somebody that's subscribed to multiple lists in MailChimp, they could actually count that person multiple times. And as you know, most programs you have a limit on the number of subscribers you can have. So that could go against you if you've got somebody who's on 5 lists. MailChimp may look at it as 5 different people, and that can go against the number of subscribers you have. Whereas ConvertKit, there's one subscriber no matter where they're at. In other words, when you work in ConvertKit, you don't necessarily need a lot of lists because everything is organized by what are called tags and segments. So we're going to talk more about that. So, but that's what that means in case you ever hear that term, subscriber versus list-based. It means one subscriber, it's only counted one time versus list-based. A lot of times the subscribers or contacts are counted multiple times depending on the number of lists they are. And I use MailChimp as that example because they are list-based. There are very simple formats, so it's not something that has a lot of bells and whistles when it comes to formats. It's basically easy to read information. Yes, you can do HTML and CSS and branding. It just doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles, let's say, like an Infusionsoft would have. So their formatting is very simple. And you can also do a double or single opt-in. And remember, when it comes to email marketing, you have to confirm or apply. I can't talk. You have to conform to the CAN-SPAM law, and that means you have to understand that it's permission-based marketing. You have to have people's permission before you can email them through any email marketing platform. And a double or single opt-in is very simple. A double means they have to confirm, which means if they click on a button to subscribe, then they get an email that says, yes, it's me. I have to click on this button or a link in order for them to get the information. So in other words, a two-step versus a one-step. A single opt-in means if they click on the button, they get what they want without having to do a confirmation. And these are forms, so it's all form-based. So people actually get in to ConvertKit a couple of different ways. You can import, but the majority of people are going to come to your list through forms, which are called web forms. They can be called opt-in forms, but they're basically forms. So it's the same here. So real quick terminology, just so you're familiar with it here in ConvertKit. A form is just a form that is filled out. It's an online form. Okay. Most times it's an opt-in form, which means you ask for their information, their name, their email, and then they get something for free, or they opt in for a webinar, or they opt in for a teleconference or something like that, or a series of courses. So that's a form. It's also called an online form, also called a web form, but it's basically a form, something that's filled out. A landing page. A landing page can be used for sales or for opt-in. So a lot of times you'll see a webinar, a free webinar, like my free webinars, right? Those are called landing pages. And a landing pages does not have a menu across the top. It's basically a page with one specific purpose, to get you to opt in or to buy something. And ConvertKit actually has landing pages. So obviously there are landing page tools like Lead Pages or even Optimize Press, but you also have the ability to do these things within ConvertKit without having to purchase additional tools, which is something your clients would probably need to know as well. A sequence is also known as an autoresponder, also known as a campaign. But in here, a sequence is basically something that happens in a sequence. Step 1, step 2, step 3. A lot of times it's also an autoresponder, right? There's a sequence to when something is sent out. Well, when they sign up, they get X, right? And then 2 days later, they get another email, and then so on. So that's your sequence. A broadcast is just a broadcast email that goes to either a specific tag or segment. And we'll look more at all of these things as we go through the training. A subscriber is one person or contact. A tag is basically a way for you to categorize and filter your subscribers. A lot of times tags are used for some type of an action. They signed up for a webinar, they purchased something, they clicked on a button, they attended a networking event, you met them at a networking event, and we'll go into tags a little bit more. And then a segment is basically a way for you to further segment or categorize tags. Okay, so these are the different terms that they have. So a tag is basically a way for you to tag a contact so you know how they came to be on your list. For instance, they purchased, they attended a webinar, and so on and so forth. And when it comes to tags, there shouldn't be multiple actions per tag. It should be one action per tag, and we'll go into that in more detail, as I said. A segment is just a way for you to organize tags and maybe forms. And actually, segments are great for actions to take, for instance, to send out a sequence or a broadcast. So that helps you group those together. So form and landing pages, just so you know, they're all responsive, which means they resize based on the device that they're being viewed on. There are 3 different types of templates that are included, which we'll look at. You can do your own customizing. They have the buttons that you can change colors and add logos and those type of things, but you can even go a step further and add custom CSS if you want to. And there's also a plugin for WordPress. So if you have a WordPress website that you can use for landing pages, similar to what you could do with an Optimized Press and even the Lead Pages. But that's part of ConvertKit. So the benefit here is you have this knowledge to pass to clients, because a lot of times your clients may have multiple tools that do the same thing. And wouldn't it be great if you could come forward and say, hey, you don't need all these tools because ConvertKit could do that for you. Save yourself some money. Again, sequences are autoresponders. Okay, an autoresponder is based on a trigger. Something happens, somebody purchased something, somebody signs up for something, and then there's a series or a sequence, if you will, of things that happen. In this instance, it's going to be emails. Okay. They also provide you, which I really think this is cool, with sample blueprints and templates for specific things. So remember, ConvertKit is made for professional bloggers. So they give you some ideas on how to use autoresponders in your email marketing. Again, something you can help your clients understand as well. That's a great benefit. You can just tweak those. Broadcast, again, you're going to get some templates, which we'll go through. You can actually segment. You can actually use segments. Now, remember, ConvertKit is not list-based, which means you don't have lists. You basically have a bunch of subscribers. And how do you send a broadcast to a bunch of subscribers? Well, you use tags or segments, which we'll look at. You also have the ability to exclude people. So you could actually have a huge list of people, but you want to exclude specific people, and that's where segments and tags can come in. So broadcasts are great, but remember, this is going to be different than a MailChimp or an Aweber where you're used to working with lists. You're just working with a group of subscribers, basically the same as Infusionsoft, and you're going to be using tags and segments to actually communicate with them. Subscribers, again, are contacts. Same thing. People on your list, if you will. And you can create segments with subscribers. You can also create segments with tags as well as with forms or landing pages. You can exclude, you can import, and you can also add manually, and then you want to tag them. So here's the really big thing you need to take away from this. Because ConvertKit is not list-based, it's only subscriber based. It means you really need to use tags appropriately. And so you have to have a tag strategy because you don't have lists to send to emails to. You have tags to use to actually identify those people who you want to send an email to. Okay. And then there's a beautiful thing called automations. And I use Simplero, and Simplero uses automations, and it automates all of these wonderful things for you. There are rules. If this happens, do this. That's basically what an automation sequence is. They also have something called RSS feeds, and RSS feeds is basically like a blog post. Where you subscribe to somebody's blog post, you get an email to let them know something's happening. You have the ability to do RSS feeds in here. And remember, we're going to deep dive each one of these. This is just a high level overview. You can integrate with a whole bunch of different programs, which makes it very easy for you to use tools. And remember, they provide you blueprints. So they give you some ideas on how to use automations, as well as ideas on how to use broadcast and sequences, which I think is brilliant because a lot of times we get stuck in our own head when we come to writing, how do we communicate with our list? And they give you options for that. And then account settings. Now, you're actually using my ConvertKit sandbox and you have access to the account settings. Please, please, please do not change anything in there. That has all my billing information and stuff. So I'm trusting you not to monkey with that because at this time, ConvertKit does not have a user ability, which means I could add users and keep you out of this section. So please, I ask you not to go in there. If I have issues, then I'll deal with them, but I would like to trust everybody to leave this section alone. Just a note, if you do change something, I will get notified. And I won't tell you how I get notified, but I do get notified. So please, again, stay out of that. And if you have any questions on it, you can please certainly let me know. Okay, so here is just a quick overview of the ConvertKit screen. If you're wondering how you get access to the ConvertKit sandbox, you want to make sure you log into your the Techie VA School community or the portal for all of our goodies, and you're going to go under email marketing. You're going to go over to ConvertKit, and if you just click on ConvertKit, or you can also click on ConvertKit here, here's the information on how to log in to the sandbox. Okay. So once you log into the sandbox, this is your home screen. Now this is the sandbox, so obviously we don't have a lot of data here, but what you see here under subscribers, which is your home page, is the number of subscribers that have come in over the last, for instance, 30 days. 7 days today. And you can actually, when we start to use this more and more, the screen will change, but you can see this is still new. And you can see as of July 11th, there was one new added. Now, as I add more, this graph will change, but the benefit of this for your clients is they can do a quick look at when new subscribers have been added and how they came to be on the list. And then underneath here, you're going to see your different forms. And these are your web forms, if you will, or opt-in forms that you put on landing pages, web pages, your website, and other pages to actually add subscribers to your list. So across the top here, the envelope just takes you to your home screen, which is this subscriber screen. You have forms, which we've kind of talked through. And again, forms are going to show down here at the bottom. At this moment, I only have one current active form. Sequences, and remember, sequences are your autoresponder sequences, which you have a series of things that kicks off based on a trigger. For instance, somebody opts in, somebody buys things, and so on. Broadcast, so here's your broadcast screen. Your number of subscribers. Now, these are your confirmed subscribers, and we're going to go into this in a little more details, but you have confirmed and unconfirmed. Those would be the difference between a double opt-in and a single opt-in. Okay. Over here under subscribers, you're going to have your segments as well as your tags, which we're going to talk more about in a future segment. And then automations, which would be your automations. This would be things that automate things that happen. So if somebody clicks on a link, they get sent an email and they get tagged a certain way. Okay. You have your rules, your RSS feeds, and your integrations. And then you have account. I'd really prefer that you not get into this section because this is all of my billing information. But if you want to know what it is, this is what it looks like. But please don't play in the account space. You also have the ability to get help. And then this would be your login. Now, these are my logins. So again, please do not change any of the login settings or any of the account settings for this specific sandbox. So that kind of gives you an overview. You also have the ability to get help down here by clicking on kind of a chat message that you can send. And that kind of gives you the overview of the screen. And remember, we're going to dive into each one of these pieces in individual modules. Okay, so that's just a quick overview of ConvertKit. I'm looking forward to diving into the details with you. If you need any help from me, you have questions on this, there's a couple different ways you can reach out to us. There is a help desk feature built into the VA School, or the Techie VA School. Forgive me, I'll go back and forth between those two. It's in the upper right corner of your screen, and I'll just pop over here to mine, and this is, I'm in the Techie, you can see right up here. I would just simply hit help, and it would open up the ability for me to add, and these are all my help tickets, but this would give you the ability to reach out to us and send us an email directly versus using email. Now, you can also use email if you want. You can go to members at thetechiementor.com, send us an email there. You can also post any of your questions or comments in our private Facebook group, or you can also comment on this page below the video, and I'll get notified in any one of these ways. So do what's most comfortable to you. We've given you lots of different options. And that's just my copyright notice that I have to start putting in all my goodies. And then just a big thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next session. See you then. Bye.